Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is The Fifth Element. So I know this is kind of a sci-fi film. We've got Bruce Willis, Chris Rock, Mila Djokovic. I do know this has the kind of Born Sexy Yesterday trope. I remember watching that video by Pop Culture Detective where he talks about that trope and he talks about Mila Djokovic's character in this film. Apart from that, that's pretty much all I know. I've seen like imagery from the film and I've seen it kind of looks a bit kind of goofy and campy in a way in, you know, the vision of the future. And then there's the title, The Fifth Element. The Fifth Element, the Philosopher's Stone. There's a lot of things that kind of refer to that in media, this kind of discovery of a fifth element, like a magical fifth element that's a cure for everything or has some insane amount of power. I imagine that's what the film is going to focus around. Maybe people are looking for the fifth element or have synthesized or discovered the fifth element, and it's all around that in some way. So before we jump into this, be sure to check out the Patreon page. Over there you can find early access, you can find polls so you can vote for what's next. You can find a full-length version of this so you can sync up your own footage and watch along with me. And soon I'm going to be doing some exclusive Studio Ghibli reactions over on Patreon because I know Studio Ghibli are really strict on YouTube. I'm going to keep those Patreon exclusive for a bit as well. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. Oh yeah, where does it take place? Is that Earth? It's a very blue planet. Jean-Paul Gaultier as the costume designer. Starting off very much the vastness of space, the emptiness of space, isn't it? Ooh, okay. 1914 it starts. I hope it's not one of these films where the future is 2002 or something. And it just makes you feel old.
When the three planets are in eclipse, the black hole like a door is open. Evil comes.
Evil comes through. Is that what we saw at the start?
Water, fire, earth, air. Around a fifth one. A fifth element.
But it's represented by a human.
Forgive me, Lord. We already know too much.
Okay, there's some big conspiracy about this knowledge as well. That dates all the way back to ancient Egypt.
To see what's the most extraordinary thing. I mean, look, it's the great.
Okay, so if it's the Born Sexy Yesterday trope, is she the fifth element?
Here the evil, and here a weapon against evil.
Okay, acting as a weapon. Okay, a little devil character that looks very much like him, doesn't it?
But wait. Here. Yes.
He isn't some immortal that's going to be a recurring character later on in the film when we're in the future, is it? Wow, okay. I guess far off into space there could be plenty of aliens and advanced societies. Doesn't have to be far-flung in the future. I like how they're not fully revealing the design. I like to show his drawing of him, yeah. Cool way to build it up. Yeah, because this guy was talking about what he was going to do, the kind of monkey guy. I was wondering if he was a time traveler from the far future and there'd be time travel in this. But I guess maybe not.
Stone's not safe on Earth anymore.
It's going playing into that conspiracy that the pyramids were built by aliens. Yeah, they gotta take him out. Just by looking at him, his eyes just glue, and that was it. Is that him dead or just knocked out?
The fifth element.
I do like the design of the aesthetics of everything. Okay, 4 stones to represent the 4 elements.
In 300 years, when evil returns, so shall we.
300 years it's off, okay.
No! Release! No!
Did that actually hurt one of the aliens as well, though?
Hurry! The wall is closing!
Oh no, he's gonna get locked in.
Time not important, only life important.
Okay, wow. Billy might have really messed that up. What other planets that align like that then, though? Is Earth one of the 3 there?
Let's see it.
Oh, that looks very Star Wars, doesn't it? Very Star Destroyer. Yeah, it's like that, just not triangular, just rectangular. Oh. They're happening now? What was that? Was that great evil? That kind of cloud?
Its structure has just solidified on the surface.
I think it's anticipating the attack. Anticipation denotes intelligence.
An intelligent kind of planet.
The most terrible intelligence imaginable, Mr. President.
You gotta reveal that you know much more and reveal the key and stuff.
I'm about to, sir.
This is having no effect at all.
The planet has increased in diameter by 200%.
Okay.
What do we...
Is it absorbing evil or just absorbing the energy? Did he say God there? Oh, yeah. Skull kind of flame coming out. Okay, so it is mainly on Earth. Brand new fresh bed every day.
Hey, Dogman, Pinky here.
It's funny seeing, yeah, the little envisions of future technology.
Still pining for that 2-timing slut? Forget about it, man. There are a million women out there.
I want 1 million women.
Okay, so it's quite decorated. Medal of Honor. Oh damn! Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But it's fallen on hard times after losing his woman.
Have to push that little yellow button to load it.
Does he already know this guy? He's tried loads of times, or is he just used to this always happening to him?
That's a very dangerous gun. You know, maybe you better let me hang on to this one for you, huh?
Yeah, he's got a whole collection.
You have 48 hours. That's the length of time it needs to adapt itself to our living conditions.
And then?
And then it will be too late.
I'm surprised they've waited this long to reveal the information. Only 48 hours to prepare. I guess knowing that the 5th element is like this ultimate weapon, they might worry people will abuse it.
Together they produce what the ancients called the light of creation, able to bring life to the farthest reaches of the universe.
I'm surprised they would believe the kind of religious side of it and not just play it off as some weird conspiracy.
Showtime.
Oh, those guys, they remind me loads of those thing. What are they called from Rayman 3? Like bounty hunters coming in trying to steal stuff, pirates kind of thing.
I'm so glad to hear you, Agnot.
The mission is accomplished.
Okay, this is Gary Oldman, isn't it? I mean, I've seen his haircut.
Is that what you call a survivor?
A few cells are still alive. It's more than I need.
You at least identified it?
We tried, but the computer went off the charts.
And was the kind of sarcophagus thing on board as well?
1,000 memo groups.
Did that survive? It must have.
Yeah. Can't wait to meet him.
That's cool. Were those people not exactly human? Or is that just what humans look like under that lighting there?
I'm tightly packed with infinite genetic knowledge, almost like this being was engineered.
An engineered being. Oh. I mean, that's exactly what this 5th element might be as well.
Activate it.
So they can just regenerate him from that. Oh, like, yeah, brain pieces.
Tissue processing.
The skeleton looks very human. I thought that underneath those suits of armor, are they just human-like? Or is this a different being on board? Or this is actually her who survived? Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The engineered being. Yeah, I thought it was one of the... I thought this was one of the guys that were protecting it. That makes much more sense. And there she is, okay. Oh, she can talk. I was gonna say, she's like panicking. It's like she has just been born here.
You're going to have to learn to develop those communication skills.
I imagine she'll be like an extremely quick learner though. Develop really quick. Yeah. Oh, it's indestructible, of course not. But yeah, she's just scared at the moment, isn't she? She's just acting on instinct. Oh. I was wondering if she was like recognizing him as like a father or something, the focus on him. I thought she had just like yeeted herself out into outer space for a second there. I was just thinking she probably could survive in outer space though, because she's such like a engineered perfect being. Overwhelming, yeah.
This is the place. This is the place. We are processing your identification.
Oh, but she doesn't have a ID card or anything, does she?
She has no file.
She's just gonna jump? Okay. Oh, she's totally gonna land on the taxi, right? On the cab. Or she's gotta run into Bruce Willis somehow. There we go. I mean, there are some translators and stuff. I'm surprised she can talk so much already. Oh, wow.
I've only got 1 point left on my license, and I need that to get back to the garage.
Yeah, he'll become an outlaw if he helps her. I mean, he is complying with the police, but you see, I don't know. When they first came along, I thought maybe he wouldn't. There we go. Towing them along with him, though.
1 point has been removed from your license.
I know! On your license.
Okay, he doesn't just set down his car midair. That's good. Just whoop.
2 golden menus.
Thank you. I'm too old, too tired.
Oh, McDonald's. There's still a few things from the 21st century that have survived.
Thank you so much. And I'm definitely too thirsty.
Is McDonald's the new Hooters? They've all got that uniform.
An ID. No, don't get me wrong. I'm all for.
Yeah, they'll know him. They can't ID her, but he could be tracked. I mean, like, he's gonna help her escape for a while, but eventually, I guess she's gonna have to fulfill her destiny to save the universe, right? They can't run forever. Or they do run forever, and the universe is just screwed without them knowing that that was what she was supposed to do.
We make the fog.
The fog, okay. Oh, there's like a seedy underbelly. Yeah. They still haven't fixed pollution in this world then.
We're just gonna wait here for a little while until things quiet down, if you don't mind. Hey.
Tattoo on her wrist, was that one of the symbol for one of those elements?
Cornelius.
What?
It sounds like she said they took Cornelius.
Yes. I'm looking for a priest.
The wedding's at 1 floor.
Oh, priest, she was saying. I thought she was saying, please.
My fare. She's looking for a priest named Vito Cornelius.
Okay, so she did know a bit.
He's a she.
You noticed that, huh?
Yeah. They all referred to the Pervy being as he, but it's a woman.
Wake up.
It must be quite a compliment to... Okay.
You're right. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, he shouldn't have. No, I was gonna say, it must be quite a compliment to be cast as a perfect being like that.
Corbin?
Just rolls off the tongue. Easy to remember. Does she recognize him? She is like pre-programmed with some amount of knowledge, isn't she?
Supreme being?
Absolutely sure.
Old friends.
Can we get some clothes now as well? I do love bright orange tank top.
What's she doing?
Absorbing all human knowledge.
The case. With the stones.
Yeah. There's a MacGuffin they need to get, the 4 stones.
We wondered if it'd be possible to fire 500,000. I thought maybe from one of the smaller companies.
So, he's a big CEO.
1 million. Fine, sir.
Okay, so is that Corbin losing his job? He must have some knowledge of the whole prophecy then as well, if he went after them.
She says she knows exactly where they are.
Oh, does she have some kind of psychic connection to it, maybe?
So what if the federal government scatters your people to the wind? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Space racism then, yeah.
That's light. Handles adjustable for easy carrying.
That looks just like one of those weapons from Halo. I wonder if they were inspired by this. That's pretty cool. So big CEO, arms dealer as well.
This
Something wrong?
is empty.
What do you mean, empty?
He only asked for the case.
Guardians gave the stones to someone that they could trust.
How much does Gary Oldman's character actually know about what their powers are? Or is he just after them because they're valuable?
It's Planet Floston in the Angel Constellation.
It's quite funny seeing her still learn a few phrases still in there. Dots. And then her figuring out she's got fingers and can actually point.
So you are merchants after all. Leave them one crate.
What's with these weird headpieces?
Now, a real killer, when he picked up the ZF-1, would have immediately asked about the little red button on the bottom of the gun.
Not a self-destruct button, is it? Yeah. Don't tell him about that.
But if it is destroyed, so busy now. Notice how each one is useful.
Okay. Destruction in order to sell things.
Into the great chain of life.
Big chain reaction of light. Okay. I can kind of see what he means.
By creating a little destruction. I'm in fact encouraging life.
And there's only so much destruction you can cause to create that, though. He's just joking. Okay. Not trying to make him too intimidating.
Where's the robot to pat you on the back? For the engineer.
Is the whole thing of some of the biggest inventions happened in wartime as well, you know?
There you see now how all your so-called power counts for absolutely nothing. How your entire empire of destruction.
But life is vulnerable, yeah.
You're a monster, Zork. I know.
Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon.
I wasn't expecting the booty shorts on the bodyguards. Oh, the fashion is great.
I want your best man to go undercover.
I have the perfect one.
Oh, is he being roped back in because of his experience before?
So you don't know you want a trip to Floston Paradise for 2 for 10 days.
Okay, they're setting him up for that. But it's going to be an undercover mission.
General Monroe, how nice to see you in the 5000 block.
What's Princess Leia doing here as well? This was 1977. When was the first Star Wars? What inspired what here? Is this parodying off that?
Of all the members of your unit, you're the most highly decorated. The third one? Of all the members of your unit, you're the only one left alive.
Is that why he left? Last one alive, he's got survivor's guilt.
Your iceberg will accompany you as your wife.
I am not going.
Well, he's got to take Lilo as his... Oh, okay. Here she is. Yeah, he's got to take her as the +1.
Aconit, take command. Go to Floston and get the stones.
So, yeah, revenge on Zorg, of course. Multiple factions all going after the stones. Oh!
You must drink a lot of coffee being a priest, huh?
Those guys are still in these cupboard as well, aren't they?
I'll take the mission.
What? Okay. Was that a free? Yeah, it was a freezer, wasn't it? Yeah, it wasn't a cupboard.
Call for Floston Paradise. Hurry up.
Great job of blending in there, mate.
Sorry,
There.
in here?
Not suspicious at all.
Dallas. Corbin Dallas.
How many Corbin Dallases are there? Oh, he's one of those. Yeah, they took... I thought that was the guy who was bagged by the police, so they've taken his identity. We can't keep the transformation down.
Great honor to be on this talk show. He's so great.
Yes, I'm sure you're very excited.
Is that part of what he won? He gets to go on the talk show. That's his signature?
Hi.
Unbelievable!
Yeah, showbiz has just gone crazy in the future.
Cover, sweetheart. What was that? It was bad. It had nothing, no fire, no energy, no nothing. You know,
He's got no stage presence.
it must be green, okay? Okay?
Can I talk to you for a second?
Look at that crazy hair. I mean, I've got no room to talk with my mullet.
Me, fifth element. Supreme being.
Okay.
Protect you.
She knows. You know, we saw her learning the martial arts. How much has she actually learned? How much will she be like a protector? It is cool seeing all the different alien creatures. They said parasites in landing gear. I was wondering if that was people sneaking on or something. What hit even harder? They're just little fleshy balls.
You taking off already?
I'm not on the plane.
What?
The real Dallas took my place. I don't understand.
I mean, Zorg must have the capability of getting them to the destination, even if there's no flights. He must have the power to do that.
Prime.
Okay.
This will never happen again.
I don't know. Lift off.
He's just gonna... Yeah, wow. I wasn't expecting Zorg's accent here as well. Hear Gary Oldman as a villain, and I'm thinking, oh, you know, Shen from Kung Fu Panda. He's a complete opposite type of villain here, isn't he?
I do not want to be disturbed.
I know you don't want to be disturbed, except if it's Mr. Shadow, and it's Mr. Shadow on the line.
Mr. Shadow. It has a sentience, okay. So he's just a middleman.
Where are you?
Far now.
Okay.
Good.
What's in it for Zorg then? Has Mr. Shadow offered like ultimate power? Ooh.
will be among you.
Will he have like a physical form? I'll be among you soon.
Front row, next to Ruby Rod. He's so talented, don't you think? I just
Having to hang out with Ruby Rod again.
enjoy your evening, Mr. Bowers.
Thank you.
Where's Lilo though? Surely she would be taken to the same room.
I should have just gotten a robot. Come on, Mom. Don't come on, Mommy. I should be there, not you.
With alien rug, yeah.
Perfect replica of the old opera house.
No, a perfect replica of the old opera house so they can just film in it. Never noticed how green his eyes are. The Ruby kept using green as like a good term, didn't he? So is that good? Dallas has those bright green eyes. I wasn't expecting this to be an opera performance, actually. I thought it might have been a bit crazier. All the stuff with Ruby is so like fast paced like that. I thought this would be a crazy, weird performance, but quite normal opera so far, at least.
Granted for 1 hour. More than I need.
Here in person, okay. He's got to have that gun that he set up earlier, right? Chekhov's gun. I do like pairing the music over top of these like violent scenes like that. It does work well. Oh, get to see her in action a bit. Okay, great. And the music does change up for the performance. Was that a little Wilhelm scream I heard in there? Yeah, it's just like so much so quick. Okay, that's a. Yeah, he was really into it, wasn't he? Is it empty again? Or does he know he needs her as well? She can get hurt though, can't she? We're seeing her with like cuts on her, so it's not. She's this perfect being, but she's not indestructible, is she? I mean, you'd have to completely destroy the body, wouldn't you? Because she could come back just from a few cells.
Ladies and gentlemen, something's happening here. I think we've been attacked. I don't know who they are, but they're everywhere. Have big teeth and they got big foreheads. Big ears.
Oh, yeah, she survived.
If you want something done, do it yourself.
Check the box first. We haven't actually seen them in there. Okay.
They're not here.
Yeah.
In me.
What?
Huh? Was she always gonna die? They gotta dig them out of her?
Ruby, hold this gun.
What?
Hold this gun.
What you want me to do?
Come on, put your hand
Oh
on
my
it.
God.
Put your hand on it. Got it?
This is still being broadcast, isn't it? I mean, alien biology, I don't know, but there might have been a way to get them out of her if she was still alive, I guess.
Here, green.
Green.
Super green.
Super green.
Is that your idea of a discreet operation?
Don't worry, sir.
Yeah, being broadcast like the whole universe. Action is suddenly ramped up, yeah, in this third act. Wow. We're getting some of that Bruce Willis action style stuff now.
Call me Dallas. Call me my man. Call me Dallas is in trouble.
I don't know how people could listen to that broadcast all of the time, but it is so famous. I find his voice so annoying. Yeah, that's the deaf guy. But it sounds like he's talking on like double speed, doesn't it?
I think he's trying to say something to me.
Come on, Selly Smooth. Oh!
Don't move.
Everything in this hotel is bulletproof as well, isn't it? No way a pool table like that should be. His broadcast is probably doing numbers here, though. This must be the most exciting thing happening.
7 on the left, 5 on the right.
Good thing, you know, they set up his military pass before, didn't they? Good setup to explain why he's suddenly so actiony. He's not just a regular cab driver.
Send someone to negotiate.
And I do like that they've got that scar on the leader so we can identify him as an audience.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate.
Oh! Damn!
Anybody else want to negotiate?
I thought he was dead,
Okay, so we have all the stones. We need Lilu, wherever she's still up in the air vents, isn't she? But of course we have Zorg coming back. It feels like a triumphant ending, but we know it's not yet.
It's alright. It's alright. Everything's okay now. Listen. We got the stone.
Oh yeah, the bomb as well that was planted, of course. I am worried, you know, with her being this fifth element and all the stones, is it like a sacrifice she needs to make? Sacrifice herself to defeat this great evil?
6, 5.
Oh. Yeah, other people have contingency plans as well. 5 seconds on it too.
See you tomorrow for a new adventure.
End of transmission.
It's the best show I ever did.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna be doing numbers now.
Everything you create is used to destroy.
We do have a penchant for destruction.
We have a problem.
Oh, the whole thing's moving. Okay. What do you mean it's advanced? I knew it was expanding.
In an hour and 57 minutes.
I'll call you back in 2 hours.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
How close are they to Earth with this flight that they did? That's a cool moment, learning about humans. Is she just suddenly gonna think maybe they shouldn't be saved? She needs to be shown something else as well. Ooh, chills there, yeah. She's got to be shown the good of humans as well, the value of life.
That's it. That's it. Match up the symbols. Go. Go. Wind.
I bet people have that symbol tattooed, don't they? Just like her.
So now we have to open them.
And you know how to do that, right?
Theoretically.
It's all just in scripture, isn't it? It hasn't been done.
These stones open in 5 minutes. We're all dead.
Dead.
Yes, dead.
I do like how it's kind of like it's tied in mythology and sci-fi together.
Think mine is broken, huh? Well, I gotta get the broken.
Do you need to expose it to its corresponding element? Oh. Yeah, did a drop of his sweat land on it? I thought I saw that. Oh, wind blew on it, yeah. Yeah, expose it to each of the elements. Oh, and there are 4 of them here, 1 for each stone.
Earth. Open the other way.
Okay.
Yeah, they're also sweaty enough. It's fine. Ruby, have a lighter?
You need get some matches. And we need some fire.
Good thing he never quit.
Let's go. Wake up. Wake up. It's time for you to work now.
Protect life.
What does she have to do?
I'll take you on a vacation when we're done. I swear, a real vacation, just you and me.
I mean, this might be it for her. The sacrifice.
Very nice things worth saving. Some beautiful things. Beautiful things.
Like love.
Yeah, there's a few things.
I need you
I need you very much.
Tell her, Corbin.
You know, I wasn't too sold on the love story part of it, but this is quite good.
Because I love you.
The music is part of it as well.
9, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's all working, yeah. If there was like a you know, just saying about war, then if there was like a montage of like humanity's goodness there alongside that, I was already tearing up a little bit, but that would have got me. That's still really good though, really effective. I love this little piano musical cue.
Scanner imaging has confirmed the Dark Planet dead.
It's just going to be there as a new moon then.
They're revived.
Thank you.
They're revived, but they're doing something else, aren't they?
On behalf of the Federation, I would like to thank you.
Please, that doesn't even sound like him. The president's an idiot, and you don't sound like him.
Is it just ending on that? Okay, so there we have The Fifth Element, and it was 1997, not 1977. 1977 is when Star Wars came out, so this is definitely, you know, a few nods to Star Wars in there with like the ship designs and the hair. I don't know why I had 1977 in my head, and I don't know why while watching this I wasn't more blown away by the special effects and the costumes and stuff if I was thinking it was 77. But anyway, yeah, it was 1997. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. You know, it was campy, but it wasn't as campy as I thought it would be in a way. There was still a lot of really great kind of more serious stuff going along here. There was, the storyline was good. It was easy to follow. You could, you know, follow everything well. It wasn't pure spectacle and pure camp, and it wasn't like as crazy maybe as I thought it would be. It's mainly the Ruby Rhod stuff where suddenly everything's fast paced and Ruby's doing this broadcast. I thought it would be like a TV show that Ruby does as well. And when we were seeing Ruby at the start, that was just before going out on stage, you know, but it was just like a radio broadcast more than anything. So yeah, I was expecting it to maybe go even wackier once they got on stage and were doing the recording for a TV show, but it wasn't. It was just that. So it maybe wasn't as wacky as I was expecting. Although the styling and the stylization of it, there is a lot there, you know, all of the costume designs and like the crazy haircuts on like Zorg and his men is Jean-Paul Gaultier, the fashion designer who did all of this. So it is cool. You know, that means there's like a through line for all the fashion here. Getting in a big fashion designer is a cool idea for this type of film. And it's always fun to see people's visions of the future, what they think the future will be like. This was very kind of cyberpunky, the kind of dark and dingy side, and then showing quite a big wealth divide as well with like the resort and the opera and all of that, how that's almost like more traditional. You know, they said it was a recreation, a direct recreation of an opera house, and that was probably just an excuse for them to use that as a filming location, right? That's pretty funny. And speaking of, the film was hilarious as well. Loads of funny moments. I think the funniest moment for me, I don't know if that was even supposed to be that funny, was just being caught off guard by those booty shorts on those security guards. Back again to the fashion and the weird fashion. Then Corbin and Leeloo's story there, I really enjoyed. I wasn't super sold on like the romance of it at the start, but it did catch me at the end, the kind of emotional beat of that. I was feeling emotional there at the end when, you know, she's talking about war and then what's the point of saving humanity, and he says, well, there is good in humanity, there's love. That was getting to me, but I don't know if that was more just the sentiment of that than their actual relationship. And, you know, there's obvious critiques here of the Born Sexy Yesterday trope of her being a character who is basically just being born, and it is almost like grooming in a way. He is the first person she's properly met, and he can teach her, and she kind of acts childish in a way, learning all of this new stuff. But I think maybe you could have lost the romance of that and then had that moment there say, hey, there is still good in humanity, there is love, and then like had a montage of like all of the good humanity has done, like indomitable human spirit kind of thing. And I think that would have been really effective there too. I think that might just be a product of the time, you know, that this film was made. But that emotional beat there at the end still was really effective. It worked really well. So let's go to the comments. If you haven't seen before, I'm doing this new thing in the discussions where if you keep an eye on the community notes page on the channel, you can leave your comments on films I'm going to watch, and I'll feature them here in the discussion as well, and maybe feature a few letterbox reviews as well. People who like the film, people who don't, see what other people's opinions are. So Mr. Lee says, it's bonkers, but also my favourite film, just go with it. I mean, yeah, it's one of those films, you have to suspend your disbelief and just go along for the ride. It is very much like a ride to go through, but yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. Then Guama Rami, a high point for 1990s sci-fi in terms of originality and uniqueness, and what a wonderful comedic performance from Gary Oldman. Yeah, I wasn't expecting his performance to be as comedic. Like I said, I saw Gary Oldman. He's already played some great villains, some great intimidating villains with Lord Shen in Kung Fu Panda 2 as one of my favourite movies and villains. And then here, he's almost the complete opposite. Yeah, this more comedic villain, not as intimidating, but still effective because he still is dangerous as well, isn't he? I can only imagine how an adult will digest this in 2023. I hope it still holds up. Yeah, I think so. You know, there are worries when you watch some films that they're not going to hold up. But I think this did. I think especially when you're watching it without having seen it in the past and you don't have any nostalgia for it either, there's less things you can kind of look over. But no, I genuinely really enjoyed this. I do think it holds up quite well. There are a few things, as I've said, that are maybe products of the time that you can critique it on, but I don't think that takes away from the film. You can still critique things you like. There's literally no other movies that one could compare in terms of sci-fi world building. I did really like the world building here. As I said, I like the combination of sci-fi and also kind of fantasy, mystical stuff. That's actually the kind of Fifth Element part of it. I really enjoyed that kind of, yeah, the combining of the sci-fi, and then there's this mystical stuff with the Fifth Element that's kind of ancient, and they don't explain it. They don't explain how it works with some kind of sci-fi jargon. It just exists in that world, you know? Very charming film and much hornier than most contemporary PG-13 films are allowed to get. Yeah, I agree with that too. So those were the comments on the community page. Be sure to keep an eye on that if you want your comments featured. Leave your thoughts on films if you want to be here in the discussion portions. Now I'm going to go to Letterboxd and look at a few different reviews, some of the popular ones. Okay, starting off with one that's a little more negative. Clara Curtis. The Fifth Element has horrific female representation, whether it's overly sexualized background characters, the demonization of the male protagonist's mother, or the lack of prioritization of arguably the most important character of the film, Lilo. The overall sensation I got from the film was that men are more important. There is some of the kind of sexualization that I can see as kind of being a critique on capitalism. the way like the McDonald's workers were dressed, where they're kind of more similar to like what Hooters is now than they are to McDonald's at the moment. That kind of hypersexualization. I can see some of that as being a critique on capitalism, as reliance on sex sells. But then some of that, yeah, is also valid. Lilo doesn't actually... She was in this less than I maybe thought she would be. She doesn't have as much agency as maybe she could have. You know, if I did kind of think maybe it would be a sacrifice at the end for her, and she would make that choice to sacrifice herself. That could have been good. That would have given her some agency in making that decision. But yeah, for a lot of it, you know, she is just born into this world and trying to get by and relying on other people to help her, which does make sense for that character trope as well. But kind of later on in the film, maybe you could have given her a bit more agency. There was like a good portion where we were just focusing on Corbin Dallas when he's doing all of his action movie stuff, his Bruce Willis stuff, and she's just there stuck in the air vent, and she was just like waiting there to be rescued, you know? We did have a bit of action from her, but maybe she could have got out of that all right and then come and helped him. I was actually kind of half expecting for her to come along and help in some of that, because she is this perfect being. She is this like fighting acrobat star, even though she can get like a bit damaged, but she has all of this knowledge. We saw her martial arts knowledge for like one brief scene, didn't we? Lily was literally the key to saving humanity, yet she somehow doesn't get the focus on the film. She's reduced to a woman who falls into the stereotypical lines and loves the female lead. Despite that though, the absolute overall insanity of The Fifth Element, I genuinely had fun watching it. Yeah, you know, as I said, you can make these critiques, but I still really enjoyed it. You don't have to, you know, having critiques like that, it doesn't mean that the movie's bad. It doesn't take away from my enjoyment too much. You can acknowledge these things and still acknowledge that the film is a good fun watch. The Fifth Element is camp full embodied, especially the character Ruby, who becomes the absolute saving grace of the entire film once he appears. I don't know. What's the reception to Ruby? I mean, I find the character annoying, but that is also purposeful, because that's what that character is being in universe. You know, it's like this broadcaster who's wildly over the top, very campy, and is like putting on a performance, putting on a show. I would have actually liked if the contrast between the kind of on-air personality of Ruby and the off-air personality, there was a bit more of a like difference there. I think that would have been cool. Like Ruby is like super energetic and camp and everything while Ruby is performing, but then the second it cuts off, acts completely differently, the voice is deeper or something, talks slower. That could have been cool as well. Maybe that is a bit of a trope that's too common now as well though. Okay, I'm going for another negative one here. You know, counteracting my positivity to the film, I guess, seeing what people's critiques are. This could have been an instant cult classic, drenched in an exuberant campness reminiscent of films like Ice Pirates, and blending fantasy with science fiction the way not out of place in 80s classics like Krull. It fleshes out a vivid universe and manages to muster up an engaging plot. Just look at the cast. This seems like a pretty positive review so far. And Chris fucking Tucker, he single-handedly destroys the entire film with a voice that would make the toughest among you cry for mercy. He's like getting a hangover while you're drinking. Okay, so the main critique here is Chris Tucker is Ruby. Yeah, as I said, I wasn't like a huge fan of Ruby, but I wasn't a fan of Ruby in universe in a way. Like, the character is supposed to be annoying, and that's how I felt. I felt annoyed by the character, which is the purpose. So I think that's fine. You know, Chris Tucker does his role well here, but I could see some people getting like too distracted by that as well. You know, you have characters that are comic relief that can be too much into the comic relief and too annoying. for example, Jar Jar Binks, you know? Okay, more positive one, Joe Lynch. Funny how when this film first came out, it was mostly dismissed by critics and audiences, and now it's perceived as a classic. I do find with some films that are like more campy, the way this is, it does develop the audience. The audience kind of develops slower because you need to know what you're getting yourself in for with like the campiness. And that will eventually grow on people and people like see it as a classic. So I can understand how it could have been perceived if people were going to it expecting Star Wars, expecting serious sci-fi here. I can understand why it wasn't well received at the time, especially depending on how it was marketed, because it could have been marketed as just your standard sci-fi, in which case people, you know, they're going in and seeing Bruce Willis and coming out with the campiness of this. I can see why it might not have been received that well when it first came out, but now people know what to expect watching it. People like it a lot more. It's also one of my favorite edited films. The dynamic way the edits are used to creatively thrust the narrative between multiple storylines is razor sharp and elicits many laughs from just a simple cut. Yeah, there were a few times where things cut and it was funny. Masterful sci-fi fantasy from one of our kookiest visualists, Multipass Forever. Yeah, I wouldn't say I like noticed the editing being good that much. It's a cool thing to point out. Yeah, but yeah, I do agree now that is being like pointed out to me. I've always had a soft spot for this movie. It's such a unique experience, sci-fi movie with a quirky attitude, great pacing that always keeps it interesting. That was one thing I noticed and I wanted to mention was the pacing. It definitely keeps you on your toes, keeps, as they said, the movie advancing forward. I was kind of worried because we got to like the hour 30 mark and it was like only just getting to the opera, to the diva performance, and I was worried how they were going to wrap things up in enough time, but the third act did work really well. The way it was set up, I'm sorry for doubting you, film, it did work really well, and we wrapped everything up at the end with kind of the ritual to get rid of the great darkness. I do think it worked really well in the pacing. I treated myself to the 4K Blu-ray. I did look up if there were different versions of this. I watched this on Amazon Prime, and I think this was the like 4K remaster, because there was a 4K option for resolution. So I imagine this is the same option, the same version that I watched. The movie looks better than ever. Rich, vibrant colours explode off the screen. Neon lighting, of course. Neon lighting with your kind of cyberpunky aesthetics here go hand in hand. For a 25-year-old movie, the special effects hold up surprisingly well. It just looks absolutely stunning from beginning to end. Yeah, the special effects here were really good. You know, you had a lot of practical effects with some of the aliens that looked good, but then CGI as well still holds up really well here. I mean, the only moment that I was like a little off on the special effects and makeup for was when the diva was dying. I think because they've remastered it in 4K, a resolution where you're not supposed to see that much detail, she did just kind of look, when it was like a close-up of her face, she did just kind of look like a woman painted blue, and you could see when it was painted around her nose, you could still see some like flesh poking through there. I mean, that is a mild critique, but I did know that's like one point where I noticed the special effects, but that's of course also because it's a 4K remaster and this wasn't the intended resolution to watch it at. Back in the day, no one would have noticed because they were watching on lower resolution things, you know? So I think that's everything. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to leave your thoughts down below. Continue the discussion in the comment section. And if you really like this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and keep an eye on the community page where you can leave your thoughts for some of these future discussions. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys later.